So Triumph is one of the pioneers in the two-wheeler segment for Scrambler motorcycles, and now they have launched the Scrambler 400X. Well, welcome to Drive Spark. I'm Vedant Jouhari and this is the Scrambler 400X. So starting off with the front end, we get upside down forks, and the headlight that we have is an LED unit, and it gets a grille in front with the Triumph badging. This just adds to the whole aesthetic, the whole scrambler appeal of this motorcycle. After you come to the headlights, moving on with the bike, we have a vertical designed radiator which doesn't jut out too much of the motorcycle, which really keeps it in place, keeping the whole compactness of the motorcycle. As we move on through the sides, we have a really nicely sculpted tank. It has a 13 liters of fuel capacity, and it gives you around 28 kilometers per liter of mileage. So all in all, if you do the math, it can take you on a single tank for quite a good distance without having to top it up again. With these two tank grips, that when you're off-roading, when you're like cornering with your legs really tight on the tank, you don't feel it slipping off. You don't really feel like your leg is moving out of place. It's just staying constant. We get ribbed design seats, a split tile seat. They are very comfortable both for the rider and the pillion. I'll come more to the seating position later on in the video. And we also get this really nice, this super classy Scrambler 400X design on this black plate, creating a very nice contrast, a very nice visual appeal for this motorcycle. Now, as we move towards the rear, we also see these nicely designed grab rails. I mean, this Scrambler is designed for both off-roading and on-road purposes. So if you get yourself stuck in a rut or something like that, you always have something firm, something easy to grip on to pull you out. Also for the pillion, when they're sitting on an off-road section or something like that, it can get a little bouncy for them. So again, they have something easy to grip onto when they're sitting at the back. We have this upswept exhaust, which honestly adds a whole lot of appeal to this motorcycle. It gives you the classic Scrambler look, that very neo-retro look. And when you look at the bike as a whole also, you see a very neo-retro design, a very classic design which you get from most Triumph motorcycles. One thing I forgot to mention, in the front you also get an aluminium bash plate. So again, in off-roading situations, let's say there's a rock you can't see, there's a high chance your front will go over it and then your engine. So just to protect that, you have this bash plate that is really strong, really firm, to avoid any mishaps from happening. So when you look at the tank of this motorcycle, you have this really nice white stripe spanning from one side to the other with the Triumph logo there. And again, it gives a very British, a very old English look to it, which screams Triumph to me. And on the tank, you have this off-place fuel cap, which is again a very traditional feature on the Triumph motorcycles. As in most motorcycles, you see it in the center. Here you have it a little to the right, is only for aesthetic purposes. Now the handlebar of the motorcycle. This is a steel handlebar. On the Speed, we had the aluminium handlebar. The reason they've put a steel handlebar on this is as this motorcycle is also designed to go off-roading and stuff, it gives a lot more strain. It puts a lot more strain on the bike. So just to avoid any damages, anything falling off or like that, you have a steel handlebar. It's much more stronger, much more firmer, much more sturdier. That's why they've done that. Also, the buttons on the handle have a very nice tactile feel. It's easy to use, you don't need to put in extra effort, and everything is just in your fingers reach. So when you come to the dash of the motorcycle, you have an analog speedometer, thankfully, something I definitely prefer to a digital speedometer. And on top of that, you have various information that is provided to you on the dash, such as traction control, ABS, headlights, whether you're on high beam or low beam, and a lot of other stuff like your fuel, RPM, your revs, and your odometer. Plus way more features that you can actually do on the dash of the motorcycle. As the Scrambler is designed to be both off-road and on-road, the Scrambler 400X comes with 195 mm of ground clearance. This makes it quite good for off-roading, as it's not designed to be a complete off-roader, nor is it designed to be a complete on-roader. It's a mix of both. So you don't need something that's too high off the ground, nor do you need something that's really low to the ground. Now coming to the seat height of the motorcycle, it stands at 835 mm, and for someone who's around 6 foot 1 inch, it's quite comfortable. I can sit with both my legs easily planted to the ground. But then if you look at someone who's, let's say, 5'6" or shorter, it could get a little uncomfortable as they will have to tiptoe. And if you go shorter than that, they'll only be able to put one leg on the ground at a time. However, it doesn't really hinder the ride feel of the motorcycle, as once you're up and moving, you don't feel the weight, nor do you feel the height of the motorcycle. It's extremely comfortable. Now coming to the performance of the engine, the much awaited topic. It has a 398cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine that puts out around 40 PS of power and 37.5 Newton meters of torque. It has a linear power, so you don't really feel the aggressive grunt of the engine. It's much more gradual, it's much more comfortable on when you're really whacking open the throttle. So this motorcycle comes with the oversquare engine. What's an oversquare engine? It's basically where you have a decent amount of low-end torque and a decent amount of top end. Normally you will have either a better low end or a better top end. This incorporates both. It has 89 mm bore and 64 mm of stroke. It really came into use when we were climbing up an off-road section. Not a very steep incline, but not flat surface either. We were going doubles, holding third gear at around 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. There was zero strain from the engine. You didn't feel the engine want to hog down or anything. It easily climbed on just your clutch and a very little throttle input. So that was very, very impressive on the Scrambler 400X. Now coming to the stopping power of this motorcycle, how does it brake? It comes with dual channel ABS, which is switchable, and it has 320 mm discs in the front and 230 mm discs in the rear. Unlike the Speed, the Scrambler doesn't come with scented brake pads. It comes with regular brake pads, and on off-road situations, you really don't need scented brake pads. The regular brake pads would give you more than enough of stopping power than that's required. And the ride feel of the motorcycle is really comfortable. The suspension setup is a little on the softer side, but then again, as mentioned earlier, it's designed for both off-road and on-road purposes. So a very stiff suspension would be very uncomfortable if you're riding off-road, if you're riding on a bumpy surface. So the incorporation of using both a slightly stiffer yet a softer setup just adds the whole ride feel to the whole Scrambler aspect of this bike. What are some of the special features you get on the Scrambler 400? Well, it has a ride-by-wire throttle, switchable ABS, switchable traction control, a USB-C socket over here to charge your phone or whatever you need to charge. And however, it doesn't come with Bluetooth connectivity. So what's one downside about the Triumph Scrambler? I'd say it's the braking. Even though it has the 320 mm disc in the front and the 230 mm in the rear, you don't feel the bite of the brake. It's very progressive, it's very smooth, and in situations where you have to panic brake or you really have to jam your front brake, or you cannot. The bike will still continue rolling until it decides to come to a stop. So that is one feature that could have been worked on a little more. But however, if you just look at the overall ride capability of this, you tend to dismiss that one small feature. Now coming to the exhaust note of this motorcycle, this is what the Scrambler 400X sounds like. So the Triumph Scrambler 400X comes with 3 color options. One is a super classy olive green and white finish. Another one is a red and white, and the third option is a black finish motorcycle. And coming to the price point of this, well, ex-showroom is priced at Rs 2.63 lakhs, almost 30,000 rupees more expensive than the Speed 400. So let us know in the comment section down below what you think of this motorcycle, of the exhaust note and the special features. Don't forget to like, comment and share. My name is Vedant Jouhari, signing out.